All right, for this project, I had a leftover piece of black walnut. I decided to make a small coffee table with it. And here I'm hand planing for the first time. And come to find out, it's not as easy as I thought it was. So what I decided to do is to go ahead and just cut this slab in half so I can run it through my joiner planer and speed things up a little bit for me. So I'm going to set my track saw up, get the correct depth on the blade, and then go ahead and get this slab cut in half. After cutting the slab in half, running it through the joiner, going to get one face flat, and then once it's flat, we'll get it and run it through the planer to get it all down to the thickness I want it at, and running it through the saw here, the miter saw, so we can get the boards down to the correct length. Lining up two boards and basically drawing a line across them, and this is where I will get my biscuit joiner out and cut for biscuits. And the biscuits are going to be for more or less lining the boards up, so when I glue the two pieces together, it makes it a lot easier. And we got the two pieces. Gonna begin to glue up here, and in a second you'll see me put the biscuits in. There they are. And make sure that the surfaces are completely covered in glue. And gonna be in clamping it up, and I'll leave it clamped up for probably about an hour, hour and a half or so. And using water to get the excess glue off. The glue is water soluble. And like I said, it's been about an hour and a half or whatever. Taking the clamps off now, and get a good look at the pieces glued together. No seam line whatsoever. And now we're gonna put some painter's tape over these cracks, because we're gonna fill it in with some epoxy with a black tint to it. And mixing the epoxy together. It's two-part epoxy. And what I do is I put one part in first, and I put the black tint, mix it up. Then I put the second part in, mix it up. You want to make sure that the epoxy is mixed really well so it cures the correct way. And this is actually the top of the table here. I'm getting all the cracks filled in with epoxy, using an ice cream, or actually a tongue depressor, to get it all into the holes. And I went ahead and sanded all the excess epoxy off on the top, and I'm going to use some water and get this dust off, just so I can kind of see what I'm looking like here. And then I flip it over and put the epoxy on the bottom cracks. Moving over to my table saw, I'm getting all the edges nice and straight. And now we're going to start routing the edges. I'm doing the bottom edge first, just putting a chamfer on there to break the edge. And took a little bit off, and then came back and did a lot. And off camera, I actually did the top and did a different type of profile for the top. I believe it's called like an OG or something like that. And here I'm putting on some teak oil. It'll basically seal the wood up and also bring out the color of the black walnut. And now I'm going to put the hairpin legs on, and I'm going to get it even all the way around. I think it was like 5/8 of an inch on one side, and then I think 5/16 on the other. And what I'm doing here is I'm getting a self-centering drill bit first, and then I come back with the hole punch, because I want to get it exactly in the middle so the legs don't move around when I go put the screws in. And again, same thing on this side. And when I get the drill bit out, I'm using just a small bit, and I come back with a little bit larger bit. And here is where I did a big uh-oh, and now I gotta come back with some 5-minute epoxy, put some of the black tin in there. And then I'll carefully fill in the 2 holes where I drilled all the way through. It was a pretty simple fix. And here I'd already had 1 coat of satin polyurethane on there, and I came back and sanded it. And this is the 2nd coat. And I do believe I came back and did a 3rd coat as well. And here's the finished product. And I do appreciate everybody subscribing, liking, commenting on my videos. You know, I do all this stuff for fun, really. You know, it was just kind of give me something to do in my off time. But, you know, please share them and let people know about me. Thank you. Shit. Went all the way through. I did it again. Well, guess I'm gonna have to show you how to patch it up now.